Well, I don't know about you guys, but I just looked at my video from me, Cliff, and Bix, the Three Amigos. That sucker is at 20,000 views. And the day's not over. That's incredible for me, you know, to have it that quick. When I do the Webbot summaries, they can get 30, 40, 50,000, but not in the first day, even 20, which is great. Love it. You know, and I think we got a lot of new people following us from the cryptocurrency stuff, which is great because we're not going to stop, you know, talking about that. Me, of course, I do what I do every day, bring you the most newsworthy things that I think we all need to be paying attention to. And before I get into this video, though, I want to talk a little more about this whole house stuff. And, you know, as bad as my kids want the one house, you know, still waiting for the underwriter stuff to get done and, you know, how much we approve for, that kind of thing. But I still, you know, back in my mind, I see where this stuff's going. Look, for instance, the London Bridge attack. You know, London Bridge is falling down. I just saw a video today. I'm not going to link it, but I am going to tell you. Hold on. I'm just going to pull it up real quick. I'm not going to show it to you. London PSYOP busted wide open by BP Earthwatch is the channel. London PSYOP busted wide open. Again, I'm not even going to link to this. I'm not even going there. This shows, and let me make sure, I'm going to hit skip on this ad for them. Sorry, BP Earthwatch, I got to hit skip on this one, buddy. Yeah. The 3 terrorists that were wearing camouflage pants and taken out by police. There is a what's the word I want to use? Well, put it this way. A person, unauthorized cameraman, as in you or me or some bystander filming some stuff that just happened. That's what we got here. They're filming the police taking off their clothes down on the sidewalk, right behind an ambulance or something. It's right there. They're taking their clothes off and putting on the terrorist clothes with the camouflage pants and all. It's the same guy with the same beard. It's him. He's a police officer. Now he's taking his clothes off, and they're videotaping him. Whoever this is, they don't even see this person. He or she is videotaping, and the cop is changing his clothes, putting on his terrorist outfit, and then laying on the ground for you know, with the fake bombs around his waist for the photo op. It's on video, not pictures. Pure video. I want you to search for that because I know there's quite a few of you who think I'm out of my mind when I talk about that stuff. Orlando Pulse, hoax. Sandy Hook, hoax. Oregon College, hoax. What about that? Hoax. Yeah, but hoax. Zip it. www.zipit.com, as Austin Powers would say. But I want you need to see that, and you need to pass it around, to be honest with you. So as you can tell, when we had our little nonsense in New York the other day and it looked really real, oh my God, whatever. That means that even with Donald Trump as president, and I don't think he knows and is behind this, but the club and their agencies, if you will, are still on go mode. Now, do you remember September, whatever it was, the date came, it was last year, I think. Once again, nothing really happened. But looking at a few things, I said, you know, I wonder if that means it's go time. Like, this is now go time. And I saw a few things. Boy, it sure looks like it is. But they're going to continue doing this stuff. And again, the end result is take away freedoms, more police state type stuff. And they're going to blame it on these pesky ISIS terrorists and all this nonsense. When most of this, if not all of it, to be honest with you, is fake. So I'm seeing this, and I understand housing crash 2.0 is coming. My friends, it is coming. And I want to wait. I want to sell my cryptos then and then capitalize and get a house, either put a giant down payment from the cryptos or simply, if you know, play my cards right, I use all the cryptos to pay it off, keep my silver, etc. Or if silver happens to be taking off at that time, cryptos are taking off, take a little bit of silver, take a little bit of crypto, half and half if you will, dump them both, whatever happens at the time. But I'm starting to really think, it might be a hell of a drive to work every day. But what I had in Tennessee when I went in 2013, 10.5 acres, the lady wanted $49,000. Now, it was a trailer we lived in, mobile home, manufactured home. It was really a 3-bed, 2-bath. It was kind of a fourth. They started adding a fourth onto it that wasn't finished. And whole, where pipes are coming in, like I could see the ground, so I'm like filling it in with that expanding foam, just doing whatever I could do while I was there. Knowing that if I ever bought that property back then or whatever, I'm not, that house is like a bonus house for someone to stay or rent or something. We're going to build a house. That was the ultimate plan. Until we realized nothing out here is working for us. We got to go back to Florida. It just was meant to be. So we packed up and came back. But we lived out in the country. Gone country. Yes, we did. And it was beautiful and it was quiet and I loved it. And it was away from the city and all that. And the more I see this crap going on with this agenda, they're not stopping. The more I realize, even if I can find a nice property, 2, 3, 4, 5 acres, even somewhat close of, 15, 20, 30-minute drive for me to work, that's still too close. I'm starting to feel like it's still too close. I'm kind of back in the mindset of, which I've never really left it, I guess I should say, get out there a ways, J-Snip. Get out there a ways where you, and not only you, but all your neighbors have a number of acres to yourselves. That's country. And yes, it does exist in Florida too. But you're really going to have to start driving to get to work every day. And I understand that, but that would be something that I would probably be willing to take. So as I'm seeing all this happening and unfolding, I'm starting to kind of question, do I make a move like that or not when the time comes? And again, the time might not be right now. The one house we talked about, it's a little bit of ways. And, family loves it, absolutely. But, again, kids, they're kids. Wife, she's on the same page. But, we talked about the other night, like, she's like, that the far out there property is really what we know we need. We know we should be doing. We really shouldn't even be looking at the closer stuff. But, oh, my gosh, we really love that house. I'm like, I know. But you got to think smart. So, yeah, we went and looked at it. Again, if I made an offer on that thing, it's going to be a low ball. And if by chance they bit, I'd probably have to say, sorry, I would take the damn thing. I don't think they're going to bite. I'm still waiting on the underwriting thing to get back, whatever. But it still makes me think, one way or the other, I need land. I need to get the hell away from the city, stay out there as far away as I can, because nothing has stopped. Nothing has slowed down. Nothing has reversed. Things are only getting worse. Speaking of getting worse, the economiccollapseblog.com, Michael Snyder, the real unemployment number, 102 million working age Americans do not have a job. Well, there's only 360 or so million of us total, which includes children, elderly, and then we're us, the working age. And 102 million who are working age don't have a job. That doesn't sound real good now, does it? Did you know that the number of working age Americans that do not have a job right now is far higher than it was during the worst moments of the last recession? For example, in January 2009, 92.6 million working age Americans did not have a job. But we found that in May, the number of working age Americans without a job increased to just a shade under 102 million. We'll go over the numbers in more detail in a moment, but first I want to talk about the difference between perception and reality. That sounds like old realist news kind of a thing here, right? According to the bureaucrats in the federal government, the unemployment rate in May was the lowest that we have seen in 16 years. She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say. Wasn't that Meatloaf, Evelyn? Was that Meatloaf?
No.
Who was that? Betty Margona, something? Margona, something?
Not Meatloaf.
If I could Lie. Yeah, oh, you do lie. It's fly, but lie for the government. Anyways, I think it's like Benny Margonis, something. I don't care. At just 4.3%, we are essentially at full employment. And so according to them, anyone that really wants a job should be able to find one pretty easily. Sure. Right? Sure. Which, as I said, was it yesterday? One of my videos? LA, New York, all these major cities. Record number of homeless. You can't have record number of homeless while simultaneously having record low, which again, this is a record for these times, 16 years. I'll call that a record. Lowest, percentage anyways of unemployment. So we're essentially at full employment. And you can't possibly have 4 million still on food stamps when it was just 24 million in 2007 and 8, before the crash. You can't have it, right? Your car can't say full and also be empty at the same time. Something's wrong. Either your car's full of gas and the gauge says it's full, or it's out of gas because it ain't going nowhere. And your gauge is lying to you. Can't have both, right? Can't have an empty tank and a full reading on the gauge. And unfortunately, we're out of gas in this country, but the government's telling us we got a full tank. Okay? That's how this is. Of course, that is a load of nonsense. John Williams at shadowstats.com tracks what our economic numbers would look like if honest numbers were being used, and according to his calculations, the unemployment rate is currently 22%. So what account? And by the way, I understand because I work in a normal city. You do too. And even though these homeless rates are up, right? They're up. I'm going to tell you right now. On the way home, family, basically, man, wife, and his kid, right by one of the traffic lights I go by on the way to work, on the way home from work. Sign. Fell on hard times. Help needed. The other day, this is like 2 or 3 days ago. It was either Saturday or Sunday. Let me go pick up a Philly. I was picking up a Philly for myself, Nico, and some other sandwich for Emily. And I'm coming back, get my stuff. I'm leaving, pull out to get on the main street. And there's a guy there with his young son. The son, I can tell, is embarrassed to even be standing there. Probably 10 years old. I can see the facial expression of the guy. Don't think he's faking this. His son doesn't, is kind of embarrassed, I can tell. Open my wallet. I probably had $35 in there, which I hardly ever have cash these days. You know how it is, like in my wallet anyways. Man, nope. Here you go. I'm thinking I'm doing very well in Bitcoin. Got a good paying job. The income from the YouTube videos, from the ads playing, thanks to my awesome subscribers not hitting that skip button when they could. Some of them. Love you guys. Life is not bad for Jason at 4 and friends and family. So this guy's struggling. Boom. Fake it or not, and I don't think he's faking it. Here you go. But I got to tell you, I haven't seen that kind of stuff since the last collapse. And I saw 2 in the matter of 3 days. 2 different spots. I haven't seen that yet. That's the first time I've seen that. Now, some of you, where you live, maybe that's normal. But that goes to prove there's an issue here. So the issue is handouts, welfare. So you don't necessarily see it all the time. And in his case, maybe this guy, maybe he applied for welfare, got it, food stamps, etc., but realized I have a house. I once upon a time was living the American dream, and now I'm not. And as my mom once said, I refuse to live in poverty. And he might be thinking, I refuse to live sub-American dream poverty. I'm not too good to beg. I'm going to go stand out by the road and ask if people will help me. Because I am struggling, even though I'm approved for welfare, let's say. So I'm on that statistic, out of a job statistic. But damn it, I want to still have this house. I've been paying here for 11 years. I've got a mortgage. I'm not throwing away all that money. I need to stay here. I need to do whatever I can do to get some damn money in this house. So he decided to stand on the... And again, I didn't talk to the guy. Maybe I should have, but I had food in the car. Would have got cold. And you know how I'd like to talk to somebody sometimes and get the download. Look, tell me your story. I want to do this on YouTube. Let me videotape this. I want to tell people. Didn't have time for that though. So there's stats right there. But again, back in the day, we had food lines. There was no handouts like that, so you could clearly see there's a problem. These days, people will pull out a EBT card out of their wallet. They're standing in the same line you're standing in, shopping at the same store you're shopping in. So the 102 million out of work, you don't really see them, but they're all around you. They're all around you. And guess who's paying for it? Uncle Sam, through his formerly or barely known as middle class. And I say formerly because shortly thereafter, you're going to be formerly when Uncle Sam's done with us all. So anyways, back to the story, the article. So what accounts for the wide disparity between these numbers? Well, the truth is that the official unemployment rate that the mainstream media endlessly hypes is so manipulated that it has essentially lost all meaning at this point. In May, we're told that the economy added 138,000 jobs, but that is not even enough to keep up with the population growth, in case you're wondering. However, when you look deeper into the numbers, some major red flags quickly emerge. You won't hear it on the news, at least mainstream news, but you will hear it on Realist news. But in May, the U.S. economy actually lost 367,000 full-time jobs. This is an absolutely nightmarish figure, and it confirms the fact that economic activity is starting to dramatically slow down. But somehow the unemployment rate in May fell from 4.4 to 4.3%. How in the world can they do that? Well, for years the government has been taking large numbers of people from the basket known as officially unemployed and dumping them into another basket known as not in the labor force. Since those that are not in the labor force do not count towards the official unemployment rate, they can make things look better than they actually are by moving people into that category. Just change this number, cook that book, cook that entry, voila, bingo, economy's great. Everybody, back to dancing and eating in the dining room. Go back to your rooms on the ship, the Titanic. It is no longer sinking. How do you know, sir? It looks like the front of the ship is going down because the captain gave me this piece of paper that says it's no longer taking on water. Oh, okay. Yep, good enough for me. Captain, if Capitan says so, and Capitan said the ship is unsinkable, and it was already sinking a moment ago, what the hell? I believe him. I like to believe other Americans. They wouldn't lie to me. Let me just get on with my stuff. Wrong. Donald Trump. Wrong. In May, the government added a staggering 608,000 Americans into the not in the labor force category. So now the number of working age Americans not in the labor force has reached a total of 94.98 million. When you add that total to the number of Americans that are officially unemployed, 6.86 million if you believe that, you get a grand total of almost 102 million. In other words, when you round up to the nearest millionth, you get a grand total of 102 million Americans that do not have a job right now. If you go back to January 2009, there were 82 million Americans that were not in the labor force and 11.6 million that were considered to be officially unemployed. And so that means that according to the federal government, there were 92.6 million working age Americans that did not have a job at that point. So if the number of working age Americans without a job has risen by 9.21 million since 2009, January, are we doing so much better than we were during the depths of the last recession? Answer, not a chance in hell. I'm J-Snip4 with Realist News. Trying to keep it real. Keep stacking your gold, silver, especially silver. Keep stacking, digitally stacking, if you will. Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptos, etc. Just an FYI, if anyone wants to get into Veritasium now, it's pretty much too late. Unless you have $20,000. That's the only way, from what I understand, from a direct reply from Reggie Middleton, who created the Veritasium. Or Veritasium, maybe that Veritasium. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They're only willing to do an exchange if you're going to spend $20K. now that the ICO is over and the first week or two is over past it, I still can't wait to get on when it gets on the exchanges to see where that sucker goes. I'm hoping it just goes absolutely nuts beyond what we're all thinking, and I can get out and I can say, you know what? Now I've got some extra cash that I didn't have. So if we want to get into a house, even though it's still not crashing yet, the prices are still kind of high. Imagine me saying, you know what, Evelyn, we just got $100K playing nonsensical games with digital cryptocurrencies that we spent a few $1,000s on, ultimately in the very beginning. And I've got a couple partner things that they've give me some cash to put in there. But regardless, not a whole giant amount of money. And it's not all mine. I got to share it with them. But what I do have that's mine, let's say, could you imagine me saying, oh, Evelyn, we got $100K we didn't have before. So that house that we're looking at that's like, 400. Let's make it 350, 50 down. Keep 50 on hand for whatever, messing with the property, put up some solar panels, a little work over here, put up a little mother-in-law suite, that kind of stuff. Handyman, you out of work, buddy? I know you're out of work because I do these videos. You need a job? I'm going to pay you decent, too. I'm not going to work you like a slave. JSNIP 4, don't play that. I'll give you a decent salary. I need a handyman. You got it? Good. Come on over. That's how that's going to go when that day comes. So when you look in that perspective, even higher housing costs don't really matter too much. If you have this, like a little small lottery you just won, so to speak, through Bitcoin or Veritasium or whatever. So just a thought. But your argument could be, yeah, but JSNIP, if you waited for the real crash to hit and you had 100K and the 350K house came down to like 250 and you put 100 on it. Yeah, I hear you. But my only question is, where are we going to be in the future when that kind of pricing happens? Is it going to be America like it is right now as I'm doing this video? Or is it going to be police state, more freedom's gone, checkpoints being set up because ISIS came to town, cotton in the roadside, cotton in the ditch, ISIS picking cotton, supposedly getting rich, ISIS coming from the south, we set them, no, wait a minute, we brought them in, but I'll shut my mouth. That was a little parody I did back a little while back. I think I removed it off of YouTube already, though. That was from an Alabama song of the South. I did a little parody. ISIS coming from the South. We let them in, but I'll shut my mouth. Taxpayer money gone with the wind. Ain't nobody looking back again. But you want to know something? You see this right here? This little recorder? Just stand by. Just stand by. You're going to, just for fun. Just for fun. Is it on here? Hold the phone. Don't see it on that. I may be out of luck. Not on here. I don't think it's on here, is it? Maybe it's on my phone. I was gonna do a little play it through the microphone for you, a little bonus. At least a first 15 seconds. I got a little piece in there. Jihadi John, remember Jihadi John? Jihadi John's working with the Democrats. You gotta get a better crisis actor than that. Anyways, I'm out. On to the next video. Take care.